Welcome to today's reflection and meditation. I titled this day as Spirit Unsettled because my hope is that the reflection will unsettle you in the best sense of that word. When it comes to the word spirit, in order to penetrate what we're talking about, I believe it takes us being a bit more of an open question. If you're someone that has a very static idea of spirit, I believe you might be limiting yourself in the breadth of where you can go with this spirit. I'm basing this, and again, as always, throw it out the window if it doesn't resonate, because when you explore the idea of spirit, the definition of spirit, the reference to the idea and concept of spirit, you find yourself in a tapestry of different meanings. And they point in a way to something similar, in that we're talking about something that is essentially good and is immaterial. So there is some common thread here, but the diversity is probably among the greatest among all the concepts that we have to talk about spirit. It's probably got some of the greatest diversity. And in many schools of thought and traditions, spirit is interchangeable with the word soul, but not with all, right? I'm sure you can bring to heart and mind a distinction right now, that where it's not considered the same thing, but many consider it the same thing, or even a dotted line. What I thought I could do today to unsettle us, to get us into that creative space, is to lay upon you many different schools of thought to what this word means. And we're going to get into some muddy waters here, because we get into other words that would deserve a lot more definition that I'm not going to go into. For instance, the word soul, the word being, the word essence, the word person. We're going to get into, I'm going to use a lot of those words because in many different schools of thought, those words come in as part of understanding what spirit is and what spirit is not. So this isn't meant to be an intellectual investigation. It's meant to stir you up a little bit so that you can let go of any ways you might be holding a limited idea of spirit. Why are we doing this? So that we can experience the flow and the fluidity of the idea of spirit, and perhaps come to an even new idea of how we might talk about spirit, which then leads to a new way to understanding our own spirituality. Isn't that juicy? So you'll have to bear with me on this, because I'm going to be bombing you. And you may want to even pause after each bomb to give yourself a little space to reflect. These are matters that are important. They hinge into our entire belief system. They can open us to new paths of happiness. They can help us heal and transform. So here we go. And in some cases, I'm going to cite my reference, and in other cases, I'm not. Just so you can get a little bit more into the bomb that I'm giving you, and a little less hinged on who said what. So one of our oldest known thinkers that we have a lot of writings is Aristotle. And he sees spirit as breath, like many describe spirit. But he also sees spirit as soul. And he speaks more about soul, saying that soul is that which holds the body together. That when a person has soul that's animating them, everything is held together. And when the soul departs, the body rots and no longer exists. And there are qualities to this soul that then are synonymous with spirit. It would be knowledge, perception, opinion, desire, wish, and appetite. the most concrete reference we get to spirit, particularly, is in the monotheistic traditions that have their start point from the experience of Abraham. And in that experience, there is a direct communication that happens between a God essence and a person, Abraham, that establishes something of a covenantal theology. And in this more concrete understanding of spirit, we go back and it still gains a reference to breath. In Latin, which is a Christian reference, we have anima, which is spiritus, which is breath. In the Hebraic tradition, we have ruha, which is breath, but is also means soul and psyche. In the Arabic and Islamic, we get ruh, which is breath, but also is seen as the communication of life force. So not just life force, but the communication of life force as the experience in the inwardness of the being. In the personhood, spirit is seen as the inner, inward, immaterial aspect. And in personhood, as an embodied being, that being is seen in many traditions as having life, which is animated, intellect, which is mind, and relationship. So spirit is caught up in the animation, the mind, and the relationship. In various Christian writers, we have Edith Stein, a fellow Carmelite. I was a Carmelite, as many of you know. And she seems to merge schools of thought between the Thomistic, which is Aristotelian version of beingness, with the phenomenological Husserl interpretation. And this is probably the most intellectually rich balm I'm going to lay upon you. That beingness is situated with others in a world that is going on. And that a thing's substance is what it is. And what it is, the substance, is different from its being. So God is that who is, tracing back to the Moses experience, at what is. But that's different than the beingness. The beingness is a relational quality. So when we tap into the soul and the spirit is what is, our beingness is situated and it cannot be separated. We can't say our soul is separate from our being alive. Spirit can't be considered apart from soul. Mind can't be situated as apart from soul. And self cannot be situated as apart from mind. So apart being one word, not a part. And taking this even in a rich realm of experience, we've got Karl Rahner, one of my favorite Christian mystical theologians, who says that a person is actually a spiritual being. A spiritual being. Why? Because the makeup, the essence of being in form is, in the very fiber, oriented towards the absolute, which then opens the whole experience of being spirit and soul and form with the capacity for meaningful connection. That is the whole source of meaningful connection. And taking this further, the spirit quality is what we're talking about when we talk about the image and likeness of God. It's a shared capacity of existence. I like that the best, the shared capacity of existence. But this image and likeness of God, while it's been taken to set apart human beings as different than animals and other parts of creation, plants, it doesn't necessarily mean this. The image and likeness of God is a capacity that in many traditions is happening in every element of creation. So it's not human being set apart. It's a definition of human being and everything else. It's inclusive, not exclusive. In Eastern thought, spirit is seen as self. It's highly related to what? To mind, and mind is not brain. Now, in Chinese medicine, and I like this too, the human being is seen as a microcosm of what? The whole existence. It is the balance. It's the balance of nothingness and beingness at the same time. And beingness is the spiritual realm, and nothingness is the material realm. And if you can hearken to my own teachings around taking it from ancient Indian traditions, that sound itself is the cosmos and is made up of the audible, subtle, and inaudible. Wow, right? James Allen, when he talks about personhood, he sees it as spirit and soul, and has three entities that are existing: the material me, the social me, and the spiritual me. In Taoism, we have more richness. In Taoism, there's the teaching that spirit is matter, and matter is spirit. Now, this may seem in contrast to some things, but if you look more closely at the interpenetration of all these ideas, you'll see that there's great alliance and similarity. In Taoism, there is three substances of energy: Qing, which is essence; Qi, which is vitality; and Shen, which is spirit. That's the substance of energy itself. And this I love. That spirit and soul is that part of human that moves, that cannot be seen, but can move things that can be seen. So there you have a little bit of being bombed from every direction of what we're talking about when we're talking about spirit. And even in a extrapolation of it, you can get into the spirit being the emotional quality, or spirit being something we possess. They have a spirit of resilience, or they have team spirit, a sense of belonging. Spirit points to all these aspects. So our meditation practice today is going to be an invocation of spirit from a Hebrew chant, which will be, I'm going to pause this recording and it actually will merge right into the next recording. But I want you to pause for a moment and take a little bit of time with this, and then open up to the experience of this spirit-informed chant from the Hebrew tradition. So our mantra or our chant today is Hineni Osah et azmi, Merkava lashchinah, which is translated, here I am, making myself a chariot for the divine. And I invite you to sit or stand and let yourself just sway very subtly, feeling the movement and letting the movement open you to spirit. Let yourself join into this recitation when you're ready. Hineni Osah et azmi, Merkava lashchinah, Merkava lashchinah. Hineni Osah et azmi, Merkava lashchinah, Merkava lashchinah. Hineni Osah et azmi, Merkava lashchinah, Merkava lashchinah. Hineni Osah azmi, Merkava lashchinah, Merkava lashchinah. Hineni Osah azmi, Merkava lashchinah, Merkava lashchinah. Hineni Osah azmi, Merkava lashchinah, Merkava lashchinah. Move into the silence. If you would, repeat this chant silently to yourself and open to the movement of spirit within you. Open your mind to be cleansed, your heart to be healed, your body to be refreshed. Hineni Osah azmi, Merkava lashchinah, Merkava lashchinah. 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 Hineni Osah azmi, Merkava Let yourself receive the animation of your life force. Call in the Holy Spirit. Call in the Spirit of life. Come, Holy Spirit. Come, arise within us. Come, Holy Spirit. Make us the chariot of the divine. Come. May we be that which is spirit in form. Create your own invocation now, and where you sit, speak it aloud as a prayer or an utterance. Hineni Osah azmi, Merkava lashchinah, Merkava lashchinah. 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 If you're comfortable, as we bring this meditation to a close, connect with the breath and let the exhale be some kind of sound. How does your body feel? And in that, I invite you to open your eyes.